Hey Mojoholics, welcome back to What's Your Mojo, the weekly show where we fill you in on what you might have missed last week, give you a sneak peek on what's coming up next week, ask your feedback, and answer viewer FAQs. Off to the races. In case you missed it, this week we published Top 10 Outkast songs. And no, Miss Jackson is not number one, so if you're a super fan, tune in to see how we rank their best rhymes. Music lovers are in for a treat because we've also got Top 10 Underground Bands. So if you shun the mainstream in favor of those groups who do not conform, you'll definitely want to check that one out. And finally, we also published Top 10 Longest Running Movie Franchises. So if your favorite film franchise has more than 5 installments and has been going on for many, many years, check it out because it might have made the list. It's that time again, boys and girls, weekend Mojo-thon time. And if you're looking for something to help you procrastinate what you should be doing, have I got the videos for you. We know how much you guys love series, and we know how much you guys love comedy movies. Well, we've decided to combine the two. So that means we have top 10 comedy movies per decade, starting with the 1930s today, and running all week. So get ready to laugh your asses off, folks. We've also got top 10 shows that lost their mojo coming out on Saturday. We here at WatchMojo know a thing or two about Mojo, and therefore we feel we can accurately tell you which shows have lost their mojo. Tune in to see what you think. And finally, for the gamers, we've got top 10 worst video game spin-offs. If you've ever been disappointed by a video game movie or some ridiculous follow-up type game, this one's for you. Are you guys ready for some trivia? Let's do it. What is the name of the first James Bond movie ever made? Casino Royale, Tomorrow Never Dies, Goldfinger, or Dr. No? You are correct if you said Dr. No. If you want to test your knowledge on that or anything else, head over to WatchMojo.com/trivia. Anyway, I'm talking to you about James Bond because October 5th, 1962 is the day that Dr. No, the first ever James Bond film, was released. If you can't get enough 007, check these videos out. The origins of James Bond, top 10 James Bond movies, top 10 James Bond theme songs, top 10 movie spies, top 10 hilarious Bond gadgets, top 10 James Bond villains, top 10 Bond babes, top 10 Sean Connery performances, top 10 best blockbuster movie franchises, top 10 movie womanizers, and many, many more. Also, don't forget to make your way over to WatchMojo.com/calendar to see thousands of our older, equally timely videos. And while you're there, make sure to vote on the topics that matter most to you so we can tailor our future videos to your tastes. Before we ask you guys your opinions on a few of our lists, we thought we'd let you see where your hard work gets you. Top 10 Frontwomen in Hard Rock and Heavy Metal comes out Tuesday, October 7th. Top 10 Wine-Producing Countries comes out Friday, October 10th. And Top 10 Overrated Movies comes out Saturday, October 11th. Thanks again for your help in choosing those lists. But we have even more lists in need of your input this week. To start, Top 10 Failed Oscar Bait Movies. These are those movies that were clearly created to win Oscars because they're super serious or they have great actors, etc. But they failed super hard and ended up sucking. Vote for which one you think sucked worst. Next up, Top 10 Anime Couples. Are there any anime pairs that make you happy? Make sure to vote for them so they can live happily ever after on our list. Do you watch weird TV? I know you do. So maybe you can help us with top 10 weirdest reality TV shows. I'm not even gonna bother making up some weird premise because the premise to naked dating sounds weird enough. Vote now. And finally, top 10 video game box art. Are you enamored with the box art of one game or another? Then let us know by voting. And as always, be sure to head over to WatchMojo.com/suggest to let us know what you think. And while you're there, make sure to exercise your right to vote on any other lists you might have an opinion on. Hey Mojoholics, it's time to join us on the couch. No, it's not your weekly therapy session, it is the weekly FAQ session. Joining me to mess with your minds is Dan.
Hey guys, we're getting right down to business with some business. First of all, we're starting a new weekly news section, which are going to give timely news stories the WatchMojo treatment.
We want you guys to vote and give us ideas on what stories we should cover, so head over to the poll on the topic, link below, and let us know.
And now, before we get to our super cool giveaway, we wanted to address something that came up last week.
You may have noticed that we took down the national anthems clip and then put it back up. Well, tune in to Watch Mojo FAQ tomorrow, where Ash and I will tell you why.
Now we will get to the giveaway.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. For all you Mojoholics who watch on a mobile device, make sure your viewing experience is never again disrupted by a pesky low phone battery by winning one of 2 Lumpsing portable power banks.
Basically, they're like big rechargeable batteries with USB ports. So with them, you can charge anything that's charged with a USB.
So like I said, we have 2 to give away. If you want one, leave a comment on this video telling us about a time that you wished you had a portable charger. And if you don't have a story, just make one up.
Sorry to say, winners have to be in the United States or Canada. Now, get creative. So let's continue with the question period. And for those of you who wanted to know last week if we speak French, oui, on va continuer maintenant avec la section des questions. On rit pas. Ta gueule.
Ta gueule.
Margot Lynn wants to know, hey Rebecca and Dan, what is your favorite superhero movie? And what superhero movie would you like to see come out? Please fill in the answer in your next episode of What Your Mojo.
Well, my favorite superhero is Superman, which is I never win on lists, but anyway. But my favorite superhero movie, and this is not going to be super popular, is Batman Forever, because I was young when it came out, and I was a super huge Jim Carrey fan in the 90s, so there you go.
Batman Forever is okay.
Not as bad as the next one.
Exactly. I really liked the 1989 Batman by Tim Burton. That's one of my favorites. Obviously, The Dark Knight is good, but that's too cliche an answer.
For us, yes.
For us, for WatchMojo, it's too cliche an answer. I am a big fan of the Avengers because one of my big critiques of superhero movies is that they never spend enough time being the superhero. There's always like the origin story and then like their internal conflict, and then they have to give an origin story for the villain, and then like they have like one scene where they kick ass and then the movie's over. So that's why I really liked the Avengers, because all the characters are already established and they just kick ass for like 2 hours.
Yeah. I also liked Iron Man because Robert Downey Jr. is hilarious, and yeah, who doesn't like him?
For a movie I'd like to see, in a perfect world, I'd love to see a Spider-Man movie with a Venom and Carnage storyline that doesn't suck, but...
Really? No dancing?
No dancing, but I think that's wishful thinking. I don't think that'll ever come out.
I don't really have an answer to that. Wonder Woman? I hope Wonder Woman's good.
It's not gonna be.
I've got one here from Andy George, who asks, Rebecca and Dan, what is your favorite song of 2014 so far? Please answer this on your next show.
I don't know, I don't really keep up with modern music because I'm such a hipster.
What are the kids up to these days?
Yeah, I don't know. Shake It Off by my girl T Swift. No, it's Becky. Oh, and any song off the new U2 album. That was worth every penny.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that my favorite song of 2014 is the new Foo Fighters song, which comes out in 2 weeks.
Safe bet. All right, awesome. Let's finish up by reading some comments of the week. Deathincarnate had this to say about top 10 band logos. Haven't watched the video yet, but either Hollywood Undead's Dove and Grenade, the Linkin Park logo, or the Breaking Benjamin logo better be on this list, or I'm gonna bite a lion cub. Don't know where you would find a lion cub, but sorry.
xXPyroTradeXx left this one on top 10 games that changed during development. I'll go to the toilet, and when I come back, I want to see a like on this comment. Alrighty then.
I think he got his wish, actually. Pajama Sam said a pretty cocky comment about top 10 PC games of the 1980s. I don't want to call anything too early, but I want to thank WatchMojo for giving me #1 on the top 10 PC games of the 90s.
Quentin Leslie left a few comments on top 10 games that changed during development. Instead of saying first, I will say potato. Next one, #original. Next one, also, where's my potato? I ordered it in that other under 301 restaurant. Right.
Devlin Frew is clearly trying to start some shit. Rebels and Dan Boys, an age-old feud. It will be the battle of the century. Place your bets, place your bets. Hee hee hee, Dan Boys sounds like fanboys. It's still funny.
It's actually just Rebels, but anyway. I've got a silly one here that was left on top 10 dramatic slow motion scenes by Dan Paradis. Seriously, Dan? He said in all caps, first, and I work here. And then Machinator 2010 put Dan and other commenters in their place by saying, most likely an imposter. Dan already has a channel, this one. There is no need for another, therefore imposter. Besides, I doubt a grown man like him would act this childish. Ha, well, joke's on you. Dan is that childish, and that was him. Fact.
I am awesome. Finally, Luke O left this one on last week's show. Ash Carbes Frushan is my third favorite Ash, after Williams and Ketchum. Anyway guys, thanks as always for the comments and questions. If you'd like more FAQs answered, be sure to tune in to the show tomorrow for Ash and Rebecca.
And of course, if you want your questions answered, leave them here in the comments, catch us on Twitter or Facebook, or email us at watch@WatchMojo.com. Don't forget the hashtag WMFAQ, and if you want a nifty t-shirt, head over to WatchMojo.com/store. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and tune in again next time for another edition of What's Your Mojo? Just tab it in. Tab it, tab it, tab. I'm sorry, they made me do it.